Welcome, fifth graders. Sorry I have to be out for another day. I'll know by the end of today. I had to get a test. So I'll know by the end of today if this is going to be a 10-day thing or not. So I'll give you more information in the next video tomorrow. A couple things that you need today. So you're going to need a Sharpie marker or a pen. You're going to need a pen for sure. You'll need to pick one of your four designs. So if you did not finish all four of them, continue working on them. So you have four that you can look at, and then you will decide your favorite. I am choosing this one today. So it is finished, it's designed. Um, that's important. Then in the center of each of your tables is a white piece of foam. Don't write on yours white foam sheet. Okay. This is just so that you can see that it's different than this piece of paper. Okay. So you'll have one piece of foam at your seat. You need to share that with the person that sits at your table. Okay. So you're going to trace whoever's ready for this first. We'll put it on here like I'll show you. And then we'll need to share this with two other people that sit at your spot after. So this is big enough to get four pieces or four of these cut out. You are only going to take up the space of one. So please position it in a way that you could get four for the four people that sit at your spot. You will also need tape at some point. I think I'll have like 4 or 5 rolls in the room. So please make sure that you see where that is and use it during the step that you need to. All right. So after you pick the one design that you're going to do the project with, you're going to take it and you're going to position it over on the edge of the foam. Okay, we want to leave this space for your partner at your table and then two other people that come in for eighth hour. If this video is being watched by eighth hour, you should hopefully have at least a half a sheet to get some of the foam. If you don't, for some reason, please talk to the substitute teacher in the room, and there should be some foam at my desk. Okay, this is the only time that you can use the permanent marker if you choose. But again, a pen will work just fine. So I'm going to use a pen. Holding it down, we are going to trace our design onto the foam. Okay, constantly moving our hands around as we trace. All right. Then we have our piece traced onto the foam. Now we are going to take a scissors, which I forgot to say that you need. You'll take a scissors, and if you have a partner at your table waiting for the foam, then carefully cut the inside edge. You could do that, and then give this piece of foam to the person across from you. So I am going to cut out this, and with the foam, so this is really important with the foam, you never want to try to come in and turn your scissors because it will tear the foam. So whenever you have certain cuts, you need to come in from the other direction and cut it out without having to turn your scissors. So when I come into the top like this, I'm going to stop, come in from a different angle, and turn. Or not turn, but cut that until it falls off. Cut past, cut past there. Maybe I cut all the way across. Come in from another angle, always straight cuts. So when I'm cutting along this bottom part, this is one of those main things. You don't want to put your scissors in there and cut this way. We want to turn the whole piece. And cut there. Okay, last cut. Okay. So now we're going to take the scraps of foam, they go in the garbage. Right, now you have your foam. We're going to take that foam and we're going to take our designed piece on the thin paper and we are going to tape it together. We want to tape it in probably at least 3 spots. We don't want to overdo it with the tape, but we need it to stay together and stay in place. Okay, to do that, I am going to start at the point, the bottom, and I'm going to tape one on the edge here. Okay, make sure it's all lined up. I'm going to tape one here. And then I'm going to tear this tape in half. I'm going to do one up at the top. And one there. All right, so I have it taped to the foam. And so now using a pen, they should be in the classroom, probably up on my desk or in the front. Using the pen, what's nice is you're going to be able to go over these lines to trace it by pushing into the foam. But the pen is going to be darker than your pencil, so you're going to know what you've traced and what you haven't traced. So when you are going over these lines, okay, you are pushing down hard. You should hear kind of like the cracking of the foam. You're pushing hard enough that you're pushing into the foam and not so hard that you're pushing through the paper, tearing the paper. So nice and gentle, nice and slow. And you're going to go over every single line on your design. Wherever there is tape, you're going to go right over the top of the tape. Okay. And what you want to look for is any of those just plain paper pencil lines. That means that you have not gone over those lines. And if you don't go over a line, it's not going to trace onto the foam. And I'll show you what that looks like in a little bit. So just for time's sake, I'm not going to trace over every single one of these lines. But when you finish going over all of these lines, every single line on here, you're going to take the tape or the tape off. And what that's going to do, okay, is it's going to leave you with all of these. You can kind of see the impressions. Okay. I've already started going over some of these lines, but you can see the areas where I have not. Okay. So after you take the tape off, your job is to go over all of these lines multiple times. So I'm going to show you how you do that. So these ones I have gone over probably 5 times. Anywhere that you see the black lines, that is where I've gone over the lines and gone over it multiple times, pushing down into the foam. Now there's one time that you don't want to push into the foam, and that is the first time that you go over these lines. So the first time you go over the lines, you are not pushing hard. You are just trying to go over those traced lines. I'm hoping that we can kind of see the difference in how that line looks compared to the others. Okay. And our job is not to make new lines. Our job is to go over those hard to see impressions that were left in the foam and stay right on those same lines. Some people don't have the patience or struggle to see because they didn't push hard enough on the first step. And so it's really important that the first time you go over your lines, don't push hard, just get pen on the foam. Now, for these lines right here, after you go over it the first time, the second, third, and fourth time, now you're pushing a little bit harder. So I don't have to go over this whole piece one time and then go over the whole piece a second time, over the whole piece a third time. I go over everything once, and then I focus in on each piece or section, and that's where I then go over it multiple times. So now you should be able to see the difference between this line and this line. And the depth is what we're trying to do. You're trying to push that foam down where these lines are so that when we roll ink over the top of this, the ink does not go into those lines. Okay? So pushing nice and gentle the first time, second time pushing a little bit harder, third time pushing a little bit harder, fourth and fifth just trying to make those lines nice and pronounced. Okay, that is what you are doing today. That is what you're doing the rest of the time. That is probably what we are going to continue to do on Thursday, because it is extremely important that we have the same lines that we drew on our piece of paper, and that we're not making new lines, but we are very slowly pushing that foam down. Because if you do it fast, if you try to push down the foam too fast, your lines will be kind of torn looking, or your edges of your lines or designs will be a torn look instead of a nice smooth line. Okay, so I have now been talking for way too long, and you now can see how long that took just to do those designs. Okay, don't color anything in. We'll talk about that. So if I would want this eyeball to be black, I'll come back to that. Please just outline designs. Don't do any coloring in. All right. Good luck, everyone. Continue to work on whatever step you are on. Hopefully this video helps. Hopefully I will be back. Otherwise, this is the way that I will be teaching you guys. All right.